You better watch out. The problem is no one chooses anything, so they get what they get. You know, my daughter goes to soccer. They get red shirts or blue shirts. She's 6 years old. They teach them you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Because sometimes they want the red shirts and they get the blue shirts. They freak out. No, they all get to say you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And if you don't choose anything, you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. But if you choose something, so I'm going to give you an example of providence, right? So here are some of my goals, and I keep in the following. I call them gardens of life from my friend Rock Thomas. The gardens of life. And the gardens for me, I put family and relationship first. I put that first because I struggle with it the most. So making Tracy the most important in my life, spending time with my kid, that's the part that I can easily sacrifice because I'm so ambitious. So I put it first. When I'm reading my goals, the first thing I look at. The second one would be spiritual contribution, finding a way to give back. So I want to show you some providence. So one of my goals this year was a new one. I said I want to give a scholarship. I want to give a scholarship somehow to someone and pay for their education. So then my nanny's staying with me in August, and she asked if her goddaughter could come stay with us. She's 18, so she comes and stays with us, and we have a good time. They're from Mexico, and then one day she's crying. My nanny's crying, so I'm like, why are you crying? And she said, well, my goddaughter can't afford to go to college, and her father, who has 3 other boys, is going to have to sell his car to have her go to college, or else she won't be able to go. And he hasn't decided what he wants to do. And so Tracy and I talked about it. I'm like, well, how much is college? And it turns out it's $2,000 a semester, so $4,000 a year. So you guys know what we did, right? We're going to pay for her college. It's $4,000 a year. It's easy money spent. But it was on my goals before the nanny. And what I'm trying to say is that's providence. I put it on my goals this year. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And guess who showed up in my life? It was a girl that needed me to pay for her college. And then, of course, I agreed to it, and then they were crying again, but this time it was tears of joy. And I got a beautiful letter from the parents thanking me for it. So my point is, like, if you believe things are going to go your way, you got to have a mindset. That mindset has to be committed to the outcome you want. The cool thing about money is what you can do with the money. Now, if I didn't have money, I might not be as generous as I am today. You know what I mean, Bo? Like, there was something in me that had to prove to myself that I could be the man that could make money. And then once I got there, I thought, well, now I got more money than I need. What do I do with it? Well, then I try to find a way to make a difference. But all of that's part of the journey of providence. And then the second one I have on here is that I want to play Augusta. Anyone a golfer in here? So I want to play Augusta. I put that out there last year. And funnily enough, I'm playing golf last week with a guy that arranged an eightsome at Sanctuary, Dave Linegar's course in Denver. And one of them happens to be a member of Augusta. I was on my best behavior. That's the nicest I've ever been for 2 days, ever. And I don't know if I'm in yet, but it's just another example of providence. Like, I wanted to ask, but I asked my buddy, how do you get to play Augusta? They said, you just don't ask. You have to wait till you're invited. Have you heard this? So I'm like, really? Because my nature is to say, hey, dude, I would like to fly up and play Augusta. But of course,
rule of Fight Club.
Well, it's like Fight Club. Nobody.
Fight Club. Yeah, don't talk about Fight Club.
Don't talk about Fight Club. Don't talk about Augusta. But I thought it was interesting. Another example of providence that I start talking to my buddies how I'd love to play Augusta. It's the one course I'd love to play of all of them. And then I'm playing with a member within 12 months. So from my point of view, that's providence. So do you have a detailed plan that describes to you where you want to go with your life? And I could give you 100 examples of that sort of stuff. And so what's the next thing? Okay. So the next thing is that it's much more important. So you work for dollars. So you need to think of every $10 bill you have as $1 a year in income. So if I said to you right now, give me 10 bucks and I'll give you a buck, you'd say no way. But if I said, what about a buck for the rest of your life? So the way I look at every $10 bill is it's $1 a year for life. Every $100 bill is $10 a year for life. And every $1,000 bill is $100 a year for life. So all I'm trying to do is place my money in a position where I can make 10 bucks a year off of my $100. And if you can look at it that way, again, you underestimate what we can do in a year, but you'll overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years. It's actually not 30 or whatever he said. I think I'm at 47 income streams right now. That's all I do. Every day I'm just placing money so that it generates a return for life. And it started with one simple $77,000 house that I bought that I put $20,000 down in. It's in Austin, Texas. I still own it. Today it's worth $325,000. I have it rented out. I think the rent's gone up to $1,700 or $1,800 bucks a month. I'm not quite sure. Like, I don't really know. But I refinanced it. I bought it in '97. I had '95. Lived in it for 2 years. Refinanced it in '99. Took 60 grand out. Bought 3 more rental properties. Only put 20 grand down. So those, and then I bought 3 properties in Lubbock. I still have those 4 properties. I put them all on 15 years notes. So what's 15 plus 99? Actually, I finished the acquisitions in 2000. So what's 15 plus 2000? 2015. What year are we in? 2015. So in about 3 or 4 months here, those 4 houses will be paid for. They'll have an equity value of $600 grand. They're going to generate for me right now $40,000 a year in revenue. $2,800 a month is the net. So what's that work out to be? Close to 40 on 20,000 invested 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years ago. So that's 20,000 turned into 600 grand in equity. That's real estate, right? So don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. So that's one of my favorite sayings. So what are you guys doing? You're team leaders, right? You have a phenomenal opportunity. So what are the opportunities you have to create financial freedom? Shout some out. Profit share is number 1, right?
Invest in market centers.
Invest in market centers is awesome. So profit share, my profit share last month was $10,500, the highest I've ever had. Bob, what was yours? 47,000, right? So I recruited a lot for other people. I came in a little later, so profit share can be great. Investing in market centers, what gets you the opportunity to invest?
Earning it.
Earning it. So what does that mean? You have to be what?
Good.
Valid.
Good.
Valid.
Irreplaceable. You got to be irreplaceable. You got to be irreplaceable. So how do you make yourself irreplaceable? You make yourself so dang valuable to your OP that they're begging you not to leave, that you're blowing it up. It's not just being, you don't just show up and recruit 20 people and then say, hey, I want some equity in this office. You do it over and over and over again so that the OP comes into the office less and less and less. They're out on the golf course all the time, and then all of a sudden you go, hey, maybe I'm going to resign and go do something different. Like, no, don't resign! Wait! I just got my handicap where I want it. Please don't leave. Let's talk about your future.
Yep.
What can we do to make sure you have a win with us for a long period of time? So the way you get equity in an office is being irreplaceable. And I've got 9 offices. Last month they made $570,000.
Well, George doesn't know this, but he started in Amarillo. And what's the group LLC name?
Yeah.
Because I started in Amarillo.
Jade Holdings.
DRO.
Yeah, it's Jade Holdings LP, DRO Management,
Yes,
and that's
it
my
is.
daughter's name, so I named it after my daughter.
That's
So I started.
You did that,
Oh,
and,
nice.
and you didn't know that ever.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I sold it. You know, I started that one in '98. I drove in a U-Haul van with a bunch of furniture Christmas Eve because they all got thrown out of their offices by their broker.
They did.
And so we drove overnight with U-Haul with my executive assistant, however many hours it took from Dallas. We set him up in a temporary office, so that was a fun adventure. So yeah, irreplaceable, profit share. What else could you do?
Have a team.
You could have a team, yeah, I like that. That's a little above my pay grade. I probably couldn't do that, but yes, you could. What else? Buy real estate. So how many agents are in your office? How many agents in yours?
You just hit 90.
90. Who else? Throw me out some numbers. How many agents in yours?
340.
What?
140.
Yours.
340.
340, 360. Now, do you think maybe some of those agents come across deals occasionally?
Referrals.
So if you let them know that you want to buy real estate and that they should send you deals. Because here's my number 1 rule on deals. You have to look at deals to actually invest in deals. So you're like, how do you get good at looking at deals? People ask me, what's the secret to investing? You just look at a ton of deals. And you say no to 1 billion of them to get to the yeses. So how many deals did you look at? My goal is to look at 100 deals a year. So how many? That's 2 a week. That's not that much. I'm only asking for an hour a week. How many deals did you guys look at in the last quarter? Raise your hand if it was more than 25. Okay, so just some of you. So the mindset of wealth is what? What's your goal? My goal this year is to add 12. I try to add 12 homes. I have 100 single-family homes rented out right now. My goal is to add 12 a year. I buy a lot of homes that are C-class homes, 60, 70 grand. I buy them with always $200 or $300 a month in cash flow. So I have 100 homes. They generate for me $40,000 a month. So 480 grand. I have a guy that manages all my managers. He gets paid from that, but we also do flips. The flips pays for his salary. So my net to me off of those homes, I got about $6 million in equity. But I started a long time ago. I just keep adding homes. I'm going to keep adding them. Keep adding. 12 a year is my goal. So in 5 more years, I should be at 160. 10 more years, I should be somewhere around 220. And that's just my backup plan because I own 9 offices. I own the regions. I got other things as well. But you must never stop chasing that. You gotta always, if you want financial freedom, you never stop. The other thing I think I'm ambitiously lazy. So what does that mean? I'm willing to work my tail off if I can see an end goal in it. Like what's the outcome goal of I'm not going to work my tail off just for working my tail off. But if I can see a way that I can build a passive income of financial freedom, and it could just be $100 a month. I bought a house in Florida the other day, and I'm super excited about it. One of the agents that I had that knows I buy stuff, just like you could have in your offices, he called me up and said, look, a short sale just fell out. They've been working on it for however many months, 90 days, whatever it was, and the buyer got bored and went and bought another house. So he calls me up, he says, if you're willing to write a contract right now, I think we get this house for $180,000. It's worth 220. Or sorry, 160 is worth 220 plus 60. I know I was up 60. Maybe it's 180 and 240. So what did I say?
Yes.
Yes. So I said yes. It took me an hour. He goes, how long would it take you to think about it? I'm like, I already decided. I know the guy. I trust the guy. He's a good realtor. He knows me and trusts me. He knows I deliver. I know he delivers. He wanted some profit, so I knew there was profit in it. Right? He's like, I don't just want a commission. I want 20% of your gain. I'm like, okay. And boom, we're in the deal. We got it closed. It took a long time. It took another 60, 90 days for the bank to realize there's a new person now. So we got to go reanalyze this for 60 or 90 days. But we got the house, and I know I can turn around and flip it tomorrow for 240, but I'm not going to. Now, I make a lot of money, so for me to be excited about that shows you my mindset. My mindset's about wealth, right? So I bought that house for 180, it's worth 240, or 160, it's worth 220. I can't remember right now. It'll rent for $1,800 a month, and I'm just locking it down. And how much taxes do I have to pay on that gain? None. I made 60 grand. I didn't pay any income tax because it's now an owned asset. Until I sell it, I won't have to pay the asset, the taxes. So you guys should be in that game too. Develop the ability to identify what are good deals, and then develop your talent pool of people that will refer deals to you. Now keep in mind, out of 100 agents, there's maybe 3 or 4 really good ones that you can count on to bring you good deals. And you'll get 20 others that bring you crap. So you got to learn to filter through that, kind of politely ignore the guys that bring you the bad ones. Look at all the deals, bad and good, because the way you're going to be wealthy is by doing good deals, and the way you get good at deals is by looking at lots and lots of deals. And when I say look at 100, it may take me 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Nowadays I have people like Matt analyze stuff for me. They just send me my summary. Does it hit my numbers? My number is 15%, so that's my target. Total return of 15%. Who knows the rule of 72? Raise your hand. So I'm going to ask you, sir, with the mustache. What's your name?
Ryan.
Ryan. What's the rule of 72?
72 divided by your percentage return is the number it's going to take to double your money.
Correct. So you guys need to learn the rule of 72. Write it down. It's the total return that you get divided into the rule number 72 will show how many years it takes for your money to double. So mine's 15. So if you divide 15 into 72, you get 4.8. So I'm trying to double all my real estate years every 4.8 years. So you can run that out a few years. You can see it works out pretty good. So why am I trying to chase 15? It just seems like a good number. Do I hit it? Doesn't matter. The point is I have a vision. You have a wealth vision. Are you clear on what you're trying to get? My number is 15%. So I'm very clear on that. My rent, I'm trying to get $1.50 in monthly rent for every $100 in value in the house. I used to be at $2, but prices have appreciated. Does that mean I stretch it sometimes? Yeah, I'll stretch it.
What was that number again?
1.5, $1.50. So if I buy a home for 60 grand, I want to rent it out for $900 a month. So keep in mind, I have 100 homes. The value of that entire portfolio is $70,000, so $7 million. So I have about $70,000 average per purchase price. Because I don't buy in my market. I'm in 32 states. I'm all over the country because I've got bird dogs. I call them bird dogs in different parts of the country that bring me deals. And if I like the deal, we buy the deal. That makes sense? Yes. So you got to have, I'm just trying to show you a little bit into the mindset of someone who's achieved a certain amount of financial freedom. And I can tell you that I know a lot of guys in my position that own offices that have done real well, but they just kind of sat on their office and they didn't invest in other stuff. And then when the market shifted last time, they were all like, oh, I wish I bought some other stuff. And I'm like, well, I did, so I'm not that worried about it. You know, because I'm in the game because I've got a wealth vision. I've got a wealth vision for my life. And it's not all about money, but the money piece seems to liberate us the most. Or in many ways, it liberates us, right? So you still have problems when you have money, but you have a lot, well, 50% of your problems go away when you have enough money. And so you got to have that mindset, that focus. And the last thing I'll say before I get off the mic here is I also do a vision. So I got a 2020 vision. So I got a 5-year vision. And I'm very committed to it. And I could read it to you. It's in my book here. But we're in another beautiful decade. Tracy and I have grown older together. It's all about relationship. I put that first. Everything, and my experience is everything you put in your vision will come true. There's something about providence, something about being a person of integrity. Say what you mean and do what you say. Doesn't mean you don't have failures. You do. You fall by the wayside. You don't do stuff you said you're going to do. But I have this, I put my kid in here. My daughter's in wonderful spirits. Her relationship is strong. Her new baby is a blessing to us all. I'm just hoping that. I can't control my daughter. My mom is still making it to Bridge and church, and she's doing it, she'll be 85 then. Our lives are a gift. And then I put my businesses in here, right? Boom, the merger was a massive success. We're doing over $10 billion in volume. We're a top 5 company worldwide. The regions are amazing. I'm starting an incubator here in Texas called Launchpad ATX. We've had a blast with this new shiny toy. We had to buy the 4th floor because we were over successful. I bought a 3rd floor condominium here in Austin. My Tiger 21 investor buddies have launched several successful companies is rewarding to give back into profit. One of the reasons I'm doing that is because I like to give back now. So I like to coach young guys and help them come along. So we've created an incubator. We're throwing 3 companies in there that are like mobile apps. And they pay us a little bit of rent, and we're coaching them. I'm in business with a guy called Chris Shaw from Atex Investments. So all of this is my vision. What I've learned is life, you're like a rose bush. Well, the ladies are like rose bush. Men, we're just like weeds. But the women are like rose bushes. And if you put up a rose bush, it just grows up and falls over. But if you attach it to a lattice, it'll grow in a certain direction. And your job is to choose the lattice, the goals, the vision, the mission for your life, and your life will grow in that direction. And I've been doing this for 21 years. Gary Keller taught me some of these fundamentals a long time ago. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. There's so many people that teach it. But the reality is if you put it into practice, even though you may fall by the wayside early, if you'll just keep getting back and keep applying. You might spend 6 or 7 or 9 months not reading your goals. Early in my career I did that. But now I look at my goals every week. I'm very committed. I carry this with me almost everywhere I go. And I find that it's like almost miraculous the amount of amazing things that are happening to me once I start choosing. I think there's something powerful in life about choice. And the other thing to remember is it's not just money, it's relationship, it's physical health, nutrition, it's contribution, finding a way to give back, it's bucket list adventures. Why am I a huge fan of adventures? Because if you go on adventures, what do you bring back? Experiences, energy. Life's all about energy ultimately. So the most energy you can get into your life, the more it'll start multiplying and coming forward for you. So don't hold back on the amazing things. Don't save for a rainy day. Make sure that every year you're doing something amazing that gives you a new perspective in life so that you can come back and realize that there's no such thing as drudgery unless we create drudgery. You go out and have amazing experiences, and it doesn't have to cost that much money. For $700 or something, you can go down the Grand Canyon for 7 days. Just keep putting yourself out there in amazing experiences, and and then you bring that back. And then finally, you got to surround yourself by amazing talent. I call it extreme accountability, and I've got a mastermind called Go Abundance. And I surround myself with guys that want to make things happen. And at Go Abundance, everyone shows up, they make their commitments, we make our stands, we get back together every quarter and say, how did you do? What did you do in that area? And make sure you're holding yourself to your accountability. Some guys show up that are incredibly financially successful but are bad at relationships. Some guys show up that are out of shape but are incredibly successful and have a great relationship. It's whatever, you just got to round out all those pieces of your life. And the easiest way to do that is like you're doing tonight with a tribe of people that committed. It's easier for a group of people to achieve a goal than an individual. So if you'll stand here and be accountable to one another and be committed to achieving the outcomes you want to achieve and stand for each other to have that and not be kind and nice and mealy-mouthed about it. You said you were going to look at a property. Did you? You didn't. Why not? What are you going to do next time? No beating yourself up. What are you going to do next time to make sure you do that? And that accountability in that tribe will take you to higher and higher levels. It creates a foundational level of success. Dirk, anything else you'd like to ask?
Man, I'm just processing. That was awesome. So, David, let me ask you this. When you were kind of getting started, you said that you started your real estate investments and a lot of your investments a long time ago. And kind of a message that I get is that, look, don't wait until you have a certain amount of money to start investing. I mean, just start today.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in having equity in every deal, so I don't like to write checks with no equity. I mean, buy stuff with no equity. But one of the things a guy said to me once is be aggressive, be more aggressive, be more aggressive. And my belief is you need to be very aggressive in pursuing your goals. And what that means is taking massive radical action now. The most action you can possibly take will get you there. And you can't get there by not taking action. So yes, I believe in massive radical action. See, well, a lot of us wait, we put it off. If you ask people what they did last year, they did like their vacation, they ran their job. They didn't take that one step towards building their horizontal income. And so from my point of view, you got to take action. You got to hold yourself accountable to taking that action. That doesn't mean chasing bad deals and forcing yourself to do a bad deal, but the easiest thing to blow off is building wealth. Because there's no real penalty for it. You don't really see the benefit for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So it's the easiest thing to put off. You got to take action now.
One more question. What exercise or what do you think that we can do to really help us gain clarity about what we really want in our life and wealth building?
You know, it's the most fun thing to me, and it's amazing that more people don't do it. But again, I didn't do it either until I got exposed to it a lot. You got to take a journal, in my opinion. Go to the most beautiful place you can, maybe with your loved one, maybe alone. Like, my wife just kind of doesn't really do it. I just do it. So people always say, what if your wife's against it? Well, as long as she doesn't resist me and she's willing to come along for the ride, I don't really care what she does, you know. One of the things I've learned about relationship is it's not good to try to control the other party. So she can do whatever she wants to do.
Amen.
Me, I'm driven. So I take my goal, my journal to a Starbucks or to the top of a mountain. Sometimes I hike the top of a mountain. And I just sit there and ask, what would I like to have happen next year? What would be important to me? What in my area of health? What in the area of relationship? What in the area of financial? What in the area of contribution? And it's just fun. It's the most amazingly cool thing in the world. You feel like you're the author of your own destiny. You're writing your own script for life. And I just write all that stuff down. I get new ideas all the time. I steal from people. And what's great about sharing goals is you can steal other people's goals. And you're not really stealing anything. You're both winning. So I'm taking 16 entrepreneurs to Machu Picchu on the 1st of September. There's 16 guys. We're all going together. And we're doing 4 days on the Inca Trail. And we're going to bag Machu Picchu, which I already did once. But I'm running out of cool things to do because I've done so many. So you find other people and you get tuned in. Yeah, it's a good problem to have. You get tuned into what they want. You're like, that's an awesome idea. I want to do that. My friend Pat Hyben sponsored 2 kids from the inner city of Baltimore, and I was so inspired by what he was doing. And I couldn't think of any kids I knew from the inner city of Baltimore, so I just paid for their education for 1 year. It's $10,000. So I made a deal with him. I'll pay for their education if you will go ahead and get them a new house, because he talked a lot about getting them out of the neighborhood they were in, which was kind of a dead-end neighborhood. So I don't know if he ever followed through with that. I'll have to call him. But the cool thing is you can tap into other things. And I met a guy from Charity Water earlier this year, and I gave my birthday to raise money for wells in Africa. We ended up raising $67,000 and building 6 wells that will change the lives of 2,400 people. And then following that, thank you. And you really shouldn't thank me. You should thank Scott, who's this guy that could probably be making $1 million a year. He's got an amazing personality, but he's devoting his entire life to giving back to raising money for Charity Water. But following on that with Providence, I meet a girl who's part of this thing, Glimmer of Hope, right here in Austin, Texas. They said, well, we go in after the water and we build a hospital and a school. So I may be flying to Ethiopia. I haven't fully committed yet. With like the head of IKEA's charity division and the head of some other charity division, this girl Lisa Harris, who's worth $400 million, was part of 2 different companies. To go visit these communities, we're actually going to build, because once they have water, that's one thing, but then they need a school and a hospital. So they have a water, school, and a hospital. They actually have the beginning of a community that can really, really, really change lives, or that's what they tell me anyway. So all of that comes through Providence. So it's just, you got to start, and if you'll start, I believe the universe is actually conspiring to help you have amazing life. And the only reason people don't have it is they don't choose anything, and they just sit around waiting for somebody to tell them what to do, and you know, it works out great for the guys that like telling people what to do, because they just tell you what to do and you go do it, and then you go home and you don't really choose an amazing life for yourself. And all it takes to have that amazing life, from my perspective, is choice.
Man, that's awesome. So yeah, get started today, and also what I'm hearing is it matters who you hang out with, right? It matters who you hang around with.
It's 100% who you hang out with. If you, I mean, it's 99% maybe. You make the choice, but no matter how much you choose amazing things, if you surround yourself by people that are not up to anything, it becomes really hard to be up to something. And that's why I think we're so blessed to be in America. My mom's English, and she said the difference between English and Americans is if you're in the ditch, digging a ditch, and you see a rich guy drive by in a car in England, you say, one day I'm going to drag that guy down in this ditch with me. But in America, people say, one day I'm going to have a car just like that. I'm going to be driving around in a Bentley. And that's the attitude we have in this country, and that's what makes us special. And you want to surround yourself by those kind of people. But that's not enough. Because the thing about team leaders is you guys usually have a lot of charm and a lot of personality, and that's awesome. It's the high I behavior. But now you guys need a little accountability. If you're extremely high I, you can get super excited. You can go have drinks after this, talk about all the things you're going to do, and then you never follow through because you have so much fun every day in life. And if you, what you want to do is make sure you're held accountable to your goals. You got to find a way to be held accountable to the goals and the dreams you set. So I think one of the reasons I've been so successful is I'm actually pretty boring. And if I were more fun, maybe I'd be out having fun and actually instead of just chasing all my dreams. So you need to have a little accountability. If you're super fun and you're out doing fun stuff all the time, pause, get that 1 hour a week into your air game, and maybe hire somebody who's a little pushy on you, or put yourself in an environment where you have to show up and talk about what you agreed to and what you actually did. If you'll just come reconvene every quarter with this group and make sure at the end of this event you discuss with one another what you're committed to, you bring that same piece of paper back and you say, what did I do and what didn't I do? So yes, your tribe matters a lot. There's a reason Warren Buffett and Bill Gates are best buds. So you want to hang out with people that are up to something. And that means painfully you got to let some people go sometimes. And I've been through that. You get around people. It was harder earlier. Now it's not so hard. And I'm like, if that's your standard, if you want to get all dirty about politics or all down about yelling about people for doing this or people for having different lifestyles, or if you want to get down on people, I got no space for you. And by the way, if you live and breathe sports, I like sports, but if you live and breathe it and that's all you care about, that's cool, but go find somebody else, because I'm into achieving things and making things happen and having an amazing life and being a great dad and being a great husband and making a difference on this planet. So that's what I'm up to. If you're up to that, then let's hang out, let's talk.
We should hang out and talk.
Yeah, I like that.
David, man, thank you so much. And so David is really cool. He's writing a book right now,
Yeah.
and your book's going to be out in about a year.
Yeah, it's felt like 5 years. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, but we're about hopefully 6 to 8 months away. It's called Wealth Can't Wait, and wealth is a synonym for your life. The old meaning of wealth is health, prosperity, and abundance. So what it says is your life can't wait. That's what it's saying. And if you dig into it, what I think you'll find is the more aligned you get with happiness and purpose and health in your own life, the more wealth you'll create. Wealth is a byproduct of you being purposeful with your life, and that's kind of where the book goes.
Awesome, and David is very gracious, so he is going to send everyone in this room a free copy of the book as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Actually, you shouldn't have plugged me. I want to be a bestseller, and the way you be a bestseller is selling a large number of books. Game in the system. But thank you, and I hope you'll get value out of the book. And it's been a pleasure and an honor speaking to you guys. I wish you all the best. The only way that my dreams come true is if all y'all's dreams come true together. So that makes us all stronger.
Thank you.
All right, David, thank you so much for your time.